Hey y'all, welcome back to Me, Myself, and Darlene. I was going to reenact something, but I don't know that I'm going to do it now. So I pop on. We have a set Zoom link, she and I, because we Zoom twice a week. It feels like maybe just once.
Yeah.
This week twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, "Where are you?" It's like, my kitchen. Oh. And then we started talking about something else. And then I start putting on my lip gloss like that chick. Have you seen her stuff? She's like Indian. Hilarious. She uses ugly words. But she's so funny. And she goes, "Hello, my friends." And she's putting on her stuff. She's just being silly. So cute. I love her. I love her stuff. Anyway, some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are probably going to send me a message saying I shouldn't watch that. But I'm a grown woman. I'm feeling sassy today, Darlene. It's all that outfit I did this week.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
I do.
Yep. What's up?
I think it's the best ever. Like your live, your Facebook yesterday. Watched it later. Love it.
In the middle of a live, I have a client text me, "You being sassy today." I was like, "No, I'm just overwhelmed with people's generosity." A little bit. It's okay. There's a lot of them, and I'm not trying to be ugly. If you know me, you know I'm not being ugly. I'm just, right. I'm standing up for myself, which I've learned how to do. And some people don't know how to do that. Look how frizzy that. She needs to be washed. Oh, look, a little lotion.
Smooths things right down.
Oh, it is Trim Healthy Mama Coconut Dream. I keep it here. It's wonderful. It's right here at my little desk.
I need to do that at the fingertips when you need it.
Yeah, well, you know, all my stuff. I wish y'all could see everything because it is, yes. And I have my little supplement thing, and I have not taken them today or yesterday or the day before. And they're sitting right here.
Right there.
In blooms this week for Sunday night, which will be last night when this airs. Bless. We're talking about Atomic Habits, chapters 5, 6, and 7, if I'm not mistaken. And it talks about stacking habits, and like when you fill up your water bottle, then you take your supplements and like create a habit on a habit you already have made. I'm like, why can't I think of that by myself? But it's still
little things. Yeah.
Little things. But anyway, we're going to solve all the world's problems. It's going to be fun.
We are.
Do you like my hat?
It'd be great. I do.
Is it?
I do. How do you get
correctly?
these? It does. It's right. Yeah.
You know who? Somebody gave this to me. One of my blooms.
Oh, I was going to wonder if Brittany did it, but no, somebody got that.
No, she did not. Someone in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
You want to guess? Do you remember?
Is it Miss Liz?
Yes.
We love Liz.
I love Liz. Her and her firefighter husband. We have a lot of jokes about that.
I can only imagine.
Oh yes. We'll stay off that today on this podcast. What do you have for me today, ma'am?
Oh goodness. Okay. So
I know we had a couple things and then you were like, but this. So whatever you want to do, man, I'm up for it.
Okay. Well, I was going over later last week, and we've done most of the questions. We really have.
Well, my stars, it's June.
I was going to say that. Well, it's been 6 months, but so nope.
Had a visitor?
Yep.
Hey, buddy. I love you.
Hi.
Go play.
We're going to talk to Miss Amy later. You have to go. Yeah. Everyone was all ready. It just started.
Okay.
So we did most of the questions we had done, and there were still a few that were hanging out, but most of them we really have gone over, I think. Yes. And so we've had a couple of discussions, you and I, about some other topics that have come up just with life and with in blooms and just May. the month of May.
Did you see? I don't know if you can see the comments. Weirdo Darlene doesn't have a Facebook account. So just because my page is public, she can see it, just for all y'all in the back that don't know that. Anyways, so she can see my lives and some of my posts, but can you see the comments?
Sometimes I think it only loads so many of them. It won't load all of them.
Well, one of my new buds, who I've actually known since she was a child, she does not live here anymore, but I've known her for a long time. Sweet as pie. She said, we call May Maycember.
Really?
Did you know how cuckoo December is?
Right.
And I'm like, that's perfect. It shall now be Maycember. It was nuts.
Is it? I didn't realize it was the thing.
It should be. It is now. We're making it one #Maycember. And even Wes Gaskin, he is so go with the flow, whatever, And yeah, this morning, I have now a habit, and you know this, that I eat 90% of my meals outside if possible. If not, I'm probably in my bed. Oh yeah, the dinner table isn't happening because #Maycember. But anyway, so I was outside having my breakfast after CrossFit this morning, and he said, Amy, May was something. And I'm like, you just now thinking about that, man? He said, I guess so, because it's over. It is. I'm so glad it's over. And I said in my live, and I don't know who I was talking. I don't know. I get so kabobbled, but it was great stuff. Wonderful, but so many things.
It was a lot. There was a lot going on, and it goes so fast too. It's like, so I think it makes it feel more intense, because it's like, it's just back to back, but
yeah.
And now it's June, and it's like, wait, May is over? What happened to me? And we're glad it's over, but it went, so it's just, I think that makes the.
And Christmas is like that too. You have Thanksgiving, then you decorate, then you're buying the presents and you're wrapping the presents, and you're going to the 900 children's programs, plus all the parties people want you to do. And then there's programs at church, and then there's parties for this and parties for that. And you got to go to 19 family gatherings. And then you're like, it's New Year's Eve. Praise the Lord. That's December for me.
Yeah.
Except for 2020, I just was mad because I didn't get to do anything. So apparently I can't be happy either way.
Isn't that funny though? But it's so like, we're expecting it, but we never expect what happens. We're never ready for it.
I know. Yeah. And another thing is, this is kind of sad, me squirrel, but we always wait for normal or when things calm down. Let me tell you all a secret. It's never going to calm down. It's never going to be normal. This is your normal.
Right.
This insanity of your life is your normal. It's
Right.
never going to slow down. There's never going to be a perfect time to do anything, whether you're talking about THM or coaching or drinking more water. It's never going to be the perfect time. You just have to start.
Right. Right. And it's true with anything, even with keeping your house and stuff. It's like you do, and you think, oh, I'm going to be caught up if I just get the 2 bathrooms cleaned, or you do this and that, and then it's going to, but that's actually the cycle. That's what we do. We care for our home. It just keeps going.
Every 4 days or whatever. If you have somebody potty training, it's every hour. The bathroom.
Yeah, that's up here soon. I'll be doing that this month.
Time. I'm going to be your mama for a second. It's time for you to do that. Okay. You're like, I know he's not my first. Shut up.
I know, and it's my fault. It's I'm delaying.
You're on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we diverted from.
We did a little bit.
Sorry.
No, but it's part of that intensity, I think, that leads to, okay, for me, we'll just speak for myself at the moment, when things get intense, right? And so what I'm learning, and I've been hearing a lot of this continuously. So this isn't new. This is by far not new. But we get in a moment of anxiety, maybe, or overwhelmed, or not sure what to do, and we want to put something in our mouth and eat something. So, and I don't know, still really understand why that is. Like, I don't know why that is, that calming effect that I know there's the hormone side of it, where it's like is it dopamine or whatever it is that like makes us relax. So we think that that's the answer. So what I have found, what's interesting is, I know Danny has said this a long time ago on the podcast about how on their potty was that he would eat sugar and he would feel really good for like an hour. He'd be like super fun dad, great. And then he would crash.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what I had found when I would get in a moment, is that I would want something like that. And it would take the edge off, but it would always come back so much worse.
Yep.
And
then you can't stop.
No. Right. And for me, that was for me. Like, it was like, then the cravings, if I had gone for a long period of time, it was like they came back out of nowhere. They were just like, why do I all of a sudden want this, that, and the other when I haven't wanted it? But it's because in the moment of stress, I did it.
Yep.
I did it. And it's only minutes. It's only minutes where you think you feel better.
Yep.
But it doesn't take the situation away, right? You're still
no, you still have to deal with your junk.
Right.
Just like, okay, I'm gonna go here. Whatever. People that take have elective surgeries for things. I'm just gonna say that, or medications for things, especially weight loss minded. If you do that, you're a grown person. But I'm just gonna say, you still have to deal with food. You still have to change your habits if you want it to last. Because clients, I had a weight loss surgery. I've been doing a weight loss shot or a pill, and I stopped the pill or the shot and I gained all back. I had the surgery. I did what they told me to, but I've gained some of the weight back. And that it breaks my heart for them. And I'm not saying that people should not do that. Y'all are all grown adult people. It's your life. This is just what I see. I'm just telling you guys what I've seen. I've not done any of those things. Right. But you still have to work through your emotional eating, how to eat with a healthy mindset, how to control cravings, how to control your portions, and become in control of food instead of food controlling you. You still have to deal with it no matter what. And I'm not saying that weight loss surgery is an easy way out, because I know it's not. Right. But some people do view it that way. And then there's a shot going around. I don't know the name of it. It doesn't matter. And there's been pills forever, right? And even Bud's program, people can purchase that and think, this is my ticket. Well, yeah, it is, but you got to do the work. It's a good ticket, but you have to access my education. You need to participate as much as possible. Paying for it, clicking purchase, and even getting inside of Mighty Networks is not going to do it. You might as well have saved your money. Right. You have to do the work. And when you can do that, you can battle those cravings, that emotional eating, with a weapon. You have to have a weapon against an enemy, and it is an enemy to me, in my opinion. And I have shared a little bit, and I talk in so many different places, so I apologize. I know I hadn't said it here, but Friday, and I don't know if this is where you were going, you wanted me to share this or not, but Friday, last week, I had a great morning by myself, doing my errands and all my stuff. I was on plan. I was rocking it out, doing all the things. And I got home in a great mood. It was just wonderful. And nobody was sick anymore. Praise the Lord. It was a girl dance recital evening. And I come home and I'm putting all my little things up and showing the people that I got things for their things. And then some of my children begin acting like they have no home training. Okay. And I just, I will be, I did elevate the volume of my voice and got frustrated. And I just went, you need to leave. So I got my phone and I got my purse and I got in my Jeep and I left. I did not tell anybody. Now, my children were all safe. I have 3 teenagers, so don't get your pennies in a bunch. They were all fine. I had been gone all morning with the same children at home by themselves. But anyhow, so I head out with nowhere in mind to go, because there's nowhere for me to go. There's nowhere for me to go. I have nowhere to go. Like, I'm trapped in my own world. So anyway, I leave and I have nowhere to go. So I'm heading up the highway and I stop at this sweet little church in the parking lot. And I'm just like, doing my diaphragmatic breathing and trying to slow down my heart rate and kind of, assess what's going on. What is wrong with you? Calm yourself. Why in the world did that set you off? What is wrong? What is wrong? And I just was like, hashtag Maycember, I didn't really have that word in my head then, but that's what it was. I was just coming off of all of that cray cray. Plus we were very sick. We had stomach virus. When it hit me hard, I ended up in the emergency room because I got dehydrated so fast and was in such pain from all the things. And that really threw me for a loop, to be honest. That I ended up there, but I was terrified. I was like, I can't do this. I've had 3 C-sections and a hysterectomy. I broke my leg on the top of a mountain. I have had appendicitis. I know pain. That was not something that Amy was handling well. So it was bad. So Wes took me to the emergency room anyway. And I just was overwhelmed with life. And it was Bella's senior recital that night. I think that the finality of that was very, like, it kind of caught me off guard, I guess, kind of the emotions that I had. And then I realized that I was like 2 miles away from my grandmother's gravesite. And I was like, key that in, because I wasn't exactly sure how to get there. Backwoods at its best, but I made it and I parked and I'm walking towards the graveyard thing and cemetery, that's a better word. And there's a lady there with her daughter and I'm walking towards them. I don't want to speak because I'm gonna just go. So I go through the gate and they were like, how are you? I'm like, good, have a good day, whatever. And so I go in and I just sit down. And I'll tell you this, God was really looking out for me. I had no idea where her little spot was. I'd been the day that we buried her and everything, but I didn't know. That was in 2019. Okay. And so it was right on the same row as where that gate was, because I was just looking for her last name. And I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. You're so kind. So I just sit down and I start squalling and I think I cried, and I'm not talking like a loud cry, okay? And I felt all the things. And why are we so scared to do that?
Yeah.
So scared to feel the things. So I felt them. And for 30 minutes, I did that. And I called Wes because I felt like someone needed to know where I was. I mean, not anybody, multiple people can locate me at any time. And I wasn't trying to hide. I mean,
right.
He was like, do you need me? I'm like, oh no, I just wanted you to know where I was. And I was still crying. He's like, are you sure? I was like, I'm sure. He's like, well, you just stay there as long as you want. And I think I'd have stayed there about 4 hours, but it was hot. I had on a black shirt. So anyway, then I Marco Polo'd you and JJ because I just needed someone to know and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And y'all did so good at that. Y'all were so good. But the part that I want to share is that when I got done feeling all the things, I wanted a cheeseburger and fries. And probably an unsweet tea. I'd have been a good old girl with that one. I can't imagine drinking Coke. And all soda pop is Coke here. So any of them would have fit that description, just so y'all know. I wanted it so bad. And do you know that the Lord also prepared a way for this for me to share with you guys, but also to have a tool, a weapon to fight this, because I had been preparing for Blooms with Atomic Habits in chapter 4, where he's talking about verbalizing and getting onto yourself and holding yourself accountable and all of that. And that habit, it was in my heart, like I'd hidden in my heart, kind of like a Bible verse, man. And so I said, no, a cheeseburger and fries are not going to help you. They are not who you are. You do not do that. That is not you. And I had to say that at least 7 or 8 times to myself. Because I could have driven 15 minutes to the next town and gotten that. No one would have known, not a soul, but I would have. And I would have felt every bit of it on a night that I needed to feel good because it was so special with the girls, of course. Or I could have driven home to our house and had my next feeling because it was time for me to fuel up. And I'm like, you're just emotional and you need to heal. Shut up and go home. And like I said, I battled that over and over and over and over. And I did. I came right home. I knew Wes was home, so that was easier for me to deal with, knowing that he was here. So just in case the kids that acted like they didn't have any home training decided to act that way again, he could handle it. But I came home and I did not eat the off-plan stuff. Not to say I have not ever fallen into that in the past, but I did not Friday. And I am so proud of that. And I'm not saying this to nanny boo boo or judge you if you do, anybody listening, but I hope it encourages you that it can be done, because I was at a low spot, very overwhelmed with a lot of things. And I stayed strong, even in a really, really difficult situation. And I just hope that encourages somebody. I don't even know what I had. I could look it up, but I had something. I filled up with something and then went on about my business,
It is, because the repercussions, you still have to finish May.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the recital. You
Mm-hmm.
still have the small children at home or younger children at home. You still have to proceed with life.
I mean, I couldn't just leave. I mean, like, just go on. I think I'm gonna go to Kansas and live there.
Baby, no.
I have a family that loves me. What would y'all do if I did that? My clients, my stars. Amy Gass can get it together.
I know. No.
Your kid.
He is just no, baby, you can't sit with me right now. It's okay. You can go sit with Sissy though, or brother.
That's some preciousness.
Oh, I know, goodness gracious. But but what's interesting about it though is that you have to sit right here. Nope, not on mommy's, right there. Thank you. It's so, I know. Goodness gracious, Amy, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Just don't turn your mama off. That's all I ask. Just don't turn her off.
Let's not start over.
No.
I think though, learning that even if it's one set of emotions at a time, like if it's moments, because I know back in the past, I would at night, it was ice cream. This was a long time ago, but after everyone was asleep, I can totally relate to that story with other women have said that. Everyone's asleep. I'm gonna get me a bowl of ice cream because I know that no one's gonna ask me for a bite.
Yes.
And it's going to be like this relief.
Very special time that I deserve.
Yeah, later, if you go play, that would be great. Yeah. So, but it was that same idea. It's so conquering that. Okay, so then once I conquered that idea, like, why am I doing this though? Yeah. Because it didn't. Because guess who would wake up in the middle of the night feeling kind of shaky?
I bet you did.
All the sugar. Yep. It wasn't really a small helping. I mean, if I'm being honest, it was not a single serve.
Girl, and I bet you anything, if I'd have given into that burger and fries and unsweet tea, I'd have probably gone to Dairy Queen and gotten a Blizzard with double candy.
Yeah.
That's what old Amy would have done.
Right.
100%.
Right. It took a while to like put it together for me that, okay, you're waking up feeling like this. So it's not really, and it was coming to the why. And so I was able to eliminate that at some point. You know what I mean? Like I was able to eliminate that one first. But like then I was still having like when there'd be an outburst or there would be really intense with more than one child, I wasn't still doing that well. Like that one was another one. But I felt like I had tackled the one and I was figuring out, okay, I don't know why I'm doing this. Yeah. It doesn't make me, I don't know what I was thinking it was doing for me.
Yeah, it's not helping. There's no help there. No.
Right. It wasn't. Because it wasn't even a stress. Worse. Yeah. It was just adding a bunch of sugar and calories right before I went to bed.
And then on top of all the stuff with your kids, you are dealing with shame and guilt from going off plan or pre-THM, just choosing something unhealthy and feeling bad. Yep. So it's compounding so many consequences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it kept happening. Mm-hmm. And then it would keep happening. So it's that, whatever it is that it does that whole idea of when you eat something like that and the sugar, for me, it's not a bite. Like I don't do just like a bite and then I'm okay. Like, I mean, okay, maybe nowadays I could do a bite of something to try something, but then it was like I would want it. Like, I'm like, why I wasn't feeling this yesterday, or I've been doing so good not having that desire for stuff.
Yeah.
And having to really consciously pick my foods because it was hard.
Yeah.
Whereas when I would go without it for a period of, like, for longer periods of time, it wasn't hard to make my meal. It wasn't. I would get out what I want, like what I needed,
Yeah.
what was good for me. It's what I wanted. And I would go about your business, like you said, and just fuel and be done. But when I would give into that, I felt like it was so much harder. Every meal after that, until it got out of my system, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Hard.
Yeah. And overcoming that seems extremely daunting.
Yeah.
And I have been thinking a lot about this lately. I'm writing a Bible study about how I have overcome the emotional eating. It truly, for me, goes back to my relationship with the Lord. And the whole point, I'm just gonna give it to you for free already.
Yeah.
The whole reason is God. Like, I have to rely on him to comfort me, to support me, to get me through, not a bowl of ice cream or whatever it is for you, or yelling and screaming at your kids, which I'm guilty of. No judgment here from Amy.
Yeah.
That is what it is. And scripture after scripture proves it, that it's done. Anything that anybody has a struggle with, the solution is to rely on him. That's what he wants. That's what he wants you to do.
Right.
And your life is going to be so much better. And so, do not be surprised that you're dealing with that, with things like that, with struggles. Don't be surprised that you are struggling,
Right.
especially those of you out there that are mothers. I feel like we have a huge target. People say target on your back. Our entire body is a target. All of us is a target. Because we have a huge responsibility. We're raising the next generation. We are in charge of that. And so, yeah, we're going to have struggles because we are experiencing spiritual warfare. And I know that might be a little heavy, but it is so, so true, but it's not talked about. And I wanted to do, just to talk about the Bible study for a smidge, I wanted to do one. I wanted to offer one to whoever wanted it, whether you've done coaching with me or not, whether you're doing THM or not. I wanted to kind of offer one and kind of lead it. And I couldn't find one that I 100% agreed with. And that kind of hurt my heart. And so I told Darlene, I think I'm just going to do my own. And she was like, oh, oh, okay, she says. And Wes was like, oh, really? And so I just want to encourage you. I mean, if you do the Bible study or not, that's not a big deal. And I didn't really plan on talking about this today, but I want to give people hope that you can overcome that emotional eating. It is. I mean, I've done it. Now I had a bad day Friday, but God provided a way out. The Bible says that too. Yeah.
And it's the tools that he gives us, because it's true and you and I have talked about this before with the burdens, not in a, I'm not in a negative light, but that what we carry for our children versus guiding them, right? So we're supposed to guide them on this journey and teach them and help them to grow. But when they're having a bad day, we're not supposed to carry that. And so when we do take it all on, and I'm very guilty of it. Oh my goodness. I ask the why way too many times. Like, why are you feeling that way? Why is this happening? What can I do to fix this situation? Because I just want it to be better or calmer or easier. And so that's not my job either. My job is to pray for them and to lift them up and to guide them. And it's exactly true. That's what he tells us to do. And when we get closer to that, and I'm still working on it.
Girl, we all a work in progress.
I know some of those days are easier than others, but it's that knowing that he can solve all things, and he
wants to.
He does.
It might not look the way we thought.
Right.
There's a lot in my life that doesn't look like what I thought it would look like. Some of it is way better. Some of it is indifferent. Some of it's a little worse, I guess, or maybe
it's like you question it, like
I thought it would be.
Right.
but it's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And so that's those tools. So like you said, relying on him, and it even the I'm going to say this wrong because I can't say the word diaphragmatic
Diaphragmatic.
breathe. Yeah.
Yes.
Because even in the moment, it's just, even if I have to close my eyes, because if it's
Oh,
swirling around me, it's like,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to take a second before I get upset, or before I walk into my kitchen, or before I do. Yeah.
Wes said that
So,
this morning. He was talking to somebody and he made that comment. He goes, "Do you know what I did?" I said, "What?" He said, "I took a breath before I answered." I went, "Oh, God."
because it takes that
A pause.
that fresh breath, and we pray all the time, at least I do in my house, about just that, to fill us with his breath, that we would be how he would want us to be in the situation.
Mhm.
So, because it's not,
I have so many regrets, and I'm kind of tired of doing that. And that's me personally with parenting. And some of you, I'm sure, experience that as well. But then also, like a lot of people, I've been doing THM since the book first came out, and I still can't get it. Stop having regrets,
yeah.
And I think that I'm very aware that I'm going to mess up. I know I am. I'm not perfect, but I can apologize quicker, and I can go longer. Every time I practice it, I can go longer without a mistake, if you will. And I just pray that for everybody, that truth is real to them and they can hear it and accept it and believe it. Because I think a lot of people deal with unbelief. They don't believe either that truly God loves them in general, or that they can do hard things. I just don't think people think they can.
Yeah.
Their self-confidence is out of whack. It's so low. I shared that in Sunday school a while back. I can't even remember why we were talking about this, but I just said, people are not supported, or they don't feel supported, and they don't feel loved. That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And if I can be that for one person, I know I've been that for a lot of people. If I can be that for one person, my life has been worth it. Because I have gone years thinking that I'm alone and that I'm not loved and I'm not cared for. And that's a lie. That's a lie. And I even felt that Friday. I felt very uncared for. And that's not at any one person.
Mm-mm.
And it kind of breaks my heart that thought even went by. But that's the thing with feelings. Feelings aren't real most of the time.
Right. Or they're not coming from the right source.
Yeah.
So.
It was a lie that was being fed to me, I guess you'd say. It was a lie I was believing. I was choosing to believe when I shouldn't have. But having those truths in my heart kept me from doing things that I would have regretted.
Yeah. And I think it's true what you said about the THM when you've done it before and you keep going, that if it's not that you have to think, I don't want the shame, and that happens, that we feel guilty and then we feel, oh my goodness, I did it again. But that the how it, I don't know how to put it, like how it motivates us to make the better choice.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because we don't want to feel that, which we don't, but it's because we want to live that better choice.
Yeah.
And be, and it's, I think so often people really don't realize how much that it can affect us, that food can affect us, that it does make things bigger. It can, the stuff in our bodies, like how the sugar, it can make a big situation that's already big and powerful and moving to be inside of us, cause more turmoil physically, because our body doesn't know what to do with itself.
Yeah. When I was sick and everything, and I had one-on-one clients, they were like, I cannot believe you are still on plan. Like, now I wasn't eating like I do now, or do I do normally rather, but everything that went in me was on plan.
Yeah.
And it may have been collagen in a vitamin water zero to have a little protein. It may have been, whey with water, because that's something I do. It may have been a little Canadian bacon with a piece of toast, but it was on plan. And I have a couple of clients that are, I would say, new to me. I have a lot that come to me from group coaching. So they're very familiar with me and what I do and all my ways, I guess. But then I have some that don't, and that's fine. Or they're not, you have a Facebook page? I was like, oh, for the love, you're killing me, Smalls. Yes, I have a Facebook page, a podcast, a YouTube, and this, and that.
Let me direct you.
Why don't you look at them? They'll love me or not. But anyway, like they were just floored that I continued. It never occurred to you, and I've been asked this before. Does it ever occur to you to go off plan? No, it does not. Now I had my niece's birthday Saturday, and I asked my daughter, I said, is that cake worth me having a bite? And she said, no, but the macaroon is. So I had one bite of, macaroons are itty tiny. I'd never had one before either. I was very surprised. I did not know that's what they tasted like. Have you ever had a macaroon?
I have not.
Talk about this. It was kind of like a moon pie. It was really, it's egg whites. I was like, oh, I did not know this.
So it's fluffy.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't impressed. I'm sure that the sweet lady that made them is a great person.
And they're probably exactly how they're supposed to taste.
It is. I'm sure. I was like, oh, everybody cuckoo crazy about these things. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. It's fine. I could definitely go my whole life without another bite of that. Totally fine. Though, speaking of on plan treats, can we move on? Are you still having things to say? I don't even know.
I was kind of on the treats thing with the children. We'll just one more thing is
Sure.
like, I know that when like my children are ill, right?
Oh,
and if
yeah.
there's a sickness going in my house, whether not necessarily like a stomach, but any kind of illness, I pull it all back because my children are not 100% on plan by any means.
Right.
But the white flours,
Yep.
sugar, it's out the window. It's why? Because it feeds the virus. It feeds and it just makes it prolonged, their symptoms worse. And so it's so funny because I try to remember that. And it's not even when I don't feel good, but in general, like, why do I do that with my children?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I such an enforcer? Well, because I'm the adult, right? So if I had an adult over me, maybe that would be helpful sometimes. But that's the idea, that thought. I can control what they're putting in their mouth, but it's to help them. It's so that their body can heal. So if I have that mentality, I just try to remember that for me day to day.
And that's exactly how I view it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sick or not sick.
Right. That
I can be less sick if I stay on plan too.
Yep.
I was able to overcome that virus fast.
Yeah. Okay. That's all. That was the last thing on that.
It's good though. It's good.
Yeah.
I just encourage everybody. I mean, and this whole talk, don't you dare leave listening to this feeling judged.
Yeah, no.
You're not.
No. Mm-mm.
This is to encourage you and to inspire you to do better next time. There is absolutely nothing any of us can do about what we did yesterday or 2 hours ago or 5 seconds ago. Yep. You cannot change the past. You can apologize if needed.
Yep.
But you learn from it and you do better next time. I have said that a million times. I know I have.
Yep.
And that's what I want to say. Now, I do want to talk about just for a few minutes, when you are emotional and you choose something on plan, because that can be really, really tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a class on emotional eating. I also have a class on managing stress. And I bring this up. In my opinion, I have things ready to go that are simple, that I enjoy, that I use when those times come up, if needed, to keep me on plan. I would rather you be on plan and possibly fuel when you're not supposed to, if that will keep you from going off plan. Does that mean that food has comforted you? Yes, but you've made a better decision. And now I will say, with my study of the Bible and my focus now, like really realizing how much I do need to rely on God, I don't do it near as much. And so I think that's a process. Mm-hmm. So we love coffee, and so you might have an extra cup that day and take some breaths. But I do challenge everyone to know that I think personally, in my opinion, IMO, it's okay to do that once a while, but challenge yourself to try something else first, like go outside. Being outside in the sunshine just really does something for you. And if you don't believe me, I double dog dare you to try it out. because it can change so much. And if your kids are getting on your last nerves, don't let them come with you, at least for the first few seconds or minutes, if you can.
Right.
But the sunshine, listen to the birds. Do not take your phone with you. You do not have to be listening to a podcast just because you took a walk. Heavens to Betsy.
Right.
Just listen to the birds. Pray for your people. Pray for yourself. Listen to the wind in the trees. There's a study, I'm sorry, I can't quote it, but there's a study that talked about, and I'm like, I do that. When you're under a tree and you look up at the underside of the tree to the sky, there's something that your brain does that releases more of the good stuff.
Really?
Yes. And it works. I also love being near water. Even if it's above ground swimming pool, God bless its sweet little heart. But that's why I love the beach so much. And I love sitting at Wes's parents. They have their camp on a little pond lake thing. I'll just sit right there by myself and just look at that water, just not doing nothing. And then you have the beach. That's that constant waves crashing.
Rhythmic, yeah.
It's just something about water. And then also looking up the underside of that tree. Try it.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, there's something about nature. It's the way I believe. I don't have any sightings or whatever. I'm all into that now because of my class I took. You have to fight your sources. I don't want to anymore. I'm just telling y'all. It works for me. All of those are calming. So anyway, I just challenge you to not go to food next time. If you end up having to, make sure it's on plan. That's my challenge. And just enjoy, man. I can pop a sparkling water open in 2 seconds. That will help me keep it together.
Right.
Sparkling water's fine.
Well, and it was thinking about that outside thing too, because it's true. And then allowing yourself and knowing that taking 5 minutes, it's okay. There's a lot of minutes in the day. And I'm very much, sometimes I'll make the comment, if I could just have 6 more hours today, that would be great. That would be But so it feels like nowadays everything is so rushed.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We're very busy, and but time then seems like it's fleeting. Like it's like, wait, it's Friday. It's Friday, Amy.
Yes.
It is Friday
June
again.
2nd.
Right.
What in
And
the world?
so allowing yourself to go and do that outside, like just open the door and take a breath, or, sit and just be calm and breathe. That it's a few minutes. It's a few minutes. Like you said, your phone, no one's in 2 minutes. It's going to be okay.
Fine. If they are, they'll be fine wherever they are.
Right. And it may be too, with even once you're out there and your children, if that's where the disagreement's happening, maybe quarreling with your children, not you personally, but just the chaos, it makes a difference with them too. It really does. Yeah. It is. It's a
good thing. I have so many thoughts.
I know. It's like a healthy diversion, but it doesn't have to be food centered, and I know it's hard. I really am not speaking like I have it or together now all the time.
Oh my stars. Y'all all know I'm a hot mess. I have a shirt and everything.
But like I said, with the ice cream at night, it's those steps. And like how, you talk about like a meal, one meal at a time, or you start here, you start there. That leads to those habits. So it became a habit at night to just go to bed.
Or, like hot tea. I'll never forget one of my one-on-ones came from group to one-on-one, and she had that habit. And I said, you're going to laugh at me and probably hang up on me right now, but I really want you to change your ice cream. It was on plan at that time, to a hot tea. If you need to put collagen in it, fine. And she said, a hot tea versus on plan ice cream. And I said, yes. And she still does it to this day.
Yeah.
It was hard. Transitions are hard. But if you want to see change, you have to change things, people.
100%.
Suck it up, Buttercup. We got on here. I went, do I need to change my shirt? I'm like, no, I'm leaving it. And I say this all love in my heart because I have to suck it up all the time. But I have been consistently disciplined, and I like where I am.
Right.
I still have hard times, just like I shared, but the hard times are less and less, and they cause less chaos and consequences in my life because I have been consistently disciplined. But I still eat great food. I have fun. I am happy, I'm healthy.
It makes a difference.
What y'all waiting for?
Oh,
Come
I
on.
know. Yeah. No, for real. It's when you want to get there. What do you want to see?
Come
Like,
on.
yeah.
It's
'Cause
all
it's not-
hard.
it
Being
is.
unhealthy is hard. Being healthy is hard.
Yep.
Being happy is hard because you gotta do work. But being
Mhm.
mad's hard, you know?
Yep.
Being anxious and depressed is hard. But the work that you have to do to get to where I am is hard work.
Yeah.
And it is hard to say no about things sometimes. But like things that are off plan or things that aren't going to be positive in my life. It's difficult to say no to those things.
Yeah.
But I do to keep that joy going,
Yeah. And I think it makes you, oh, for sure. It definitely does. And it makes a difference too, I think, as we've gotten older in our families that are around us too. Because as we see our parents or their parents and people go through different health struggles. And I'm not saying that fear by any means should be a motivator, because I don't think it should be at all. But we can see how we can try to make choices that might help us, our bodies function as we get older better,
Right. Amen.
So
that was so good. That was a good podcast, Darlene.
Oh, I was like, I think let's go a little off course.
It's fine. I love it. This is why you're doing this. I can't wait to see what we do in July. Awesome.
All the mamas. Yeah. My heart is with you.
I was about to say, what's that little thing they do? Like, we love you so much. And we want to see you living the abundant life that God has promised us.
Yep. He equips us. He does. He equips us to do this, what we're doing.
He does. Do you know something? I've probably said this before, but something that I do not like reading is I'm struggling with blah, blah, blah. I'm having a hard time with blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Because they're not being consistent with their good choices. That's why. And I just want to go, I just want to put you in my lap and hold you and say, sweet precious, just keep doing the right thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, even though it's hard and you don't want to.
Yep.
That's the discipline we teach our kids. They have to do the right thing over and over and over, even though they don't want to.
Right.
And one day they will make the right decision without you.
Yep, they will. And that is such a healthy reminder, I think, with children, that it's that self-control, and it's not necessarily just with food, but with things like, and trying to show that and practice that. And even if they don't see it, right? Because we can sneak into our kitchen or we can sneak into the pantry and we can, but to know that we are leading that by example.
Be honestly.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Just because you're a grown woman, and I say that all the time, doesn't mean that when you go to the grocery store, you deserve the Twix and the Dr. Pepper. That's what I used to get, and that are the Reese's. No, you deserve to have on-plan food on time.
Yeah.
To fuel your body well and to feel good.
Yeah.
So if that means you go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, get a cool wrap with the avocado lime dressing and unsweet tea, glory, fun. But you didn't go off plan because it was time to fuel.
Their tea is ridiculously good.
I think there's something else in there.
Like their unsweet
the Lord
tea.
Spirit. I don't know. It's a holy tea.
I know, it's so good.
Had me one yesterday.
Some of them are so disappointing. You're like, oh, because I love unsweet tea.
You know who else has a good unsweet tea? McAllister's. Y'all got that over there in Nevada? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, at least not in northern Nevada. I don't know if Vegas and stuff does, but not up here, no.
One more reason for you to move and be my neighbor. Because we actually have one here.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone sign the petition. We're going to send it to her husband that they need to move to Mississippi.
It was funny because I said that
our kids even want them to.
I know. And he goes, show me, where does she live again? Right. So we have a big map on our wall, and it's funny because Macomb's on there. It's so funny because
that's hilarious.
I know, because there's certain ones that aren't on there, and I'm like, it's smaller, but it's on our map. And he goes, you do know how south that is, right? Things don't. Yeah.
No, babe, we can be in NOLA in an hour and a half.
That's what I said.
So much fun.
That's what I said. I'm like, the ocean is there.
We can go to the beach in 4 hours. Yep.
And you guys have a different ocean, the Pacific Ocean, which is close to us.
But this is the nice, sweet one. We love it.
Freezing.
No,
It's cold water.
definitely not cold here. I would like to see the Pacific coast. I have a lot of
It's
clients that are
beautiful.
that way.
It's
I'm
beautiful. Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. It was the ocean itself, to me, in my opinion, when we were in North Carolina
sure.
and or the Atlantic, the Pacific is much more beautiful,
Hmm.
in my opinion, because it's bluer, it's more vibrant,
Yeah.
but it's cold.
Yeah.
It's more cold.
We saw the ocean from, where were we? Hold on. We were in North Carolina, Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. That's where we were. And then we went down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for a few days as well. And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it was in the summer. I didn't like it.
It's very
I'm sure it's wonderful.
dreary.
Don't
It is, yeah.
Don't
Like,
get your feelings hurt.
I know. Right.
I'm a, in the Gulf in Florida. And
Right.
I'm used to it. It's me used to. It's what I'm used to.
And that's the thing with us when we got there. I was like, it wasn't what I was expecting. I guess I thought all oceans were all the same.
It is not.
So we got, and I'm like, wait, this isn't what I was expecting, So we do.
I'm so excited. I'm going in a week. Can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
So excited.
100%.
Wes was like, is there any way we can add days? I said, we already did. We already added a day. I can't add any on either side. I can't. I'm sorry. He was like, you and your working self. I was like, well.
Gonna be where are you going exactly?
We're going to be at Orange Beach, Alabama.
Alabama. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jessica Lee is going to be at Panama City Beach, and she and her husband wanted to invite us for dinner. And I'm like, A, that's a few more hours than I'm willing to travel, and B, Wes and I are only there for a few days. So I think we're just going to stick to ourselves. And she was like, I understand.
She's so sweet.
I love her. I am going to get to meet them in July at the conference. So just a few more weeks.
That's yes,
right? There's 2 more spots available. Don't you want to come meet my crazy self? Darlene isn't coming, so you can have her spot.
Oh, I'm so sad.
I swear though,
I've been doing.
If you surprise me, I think I'd die dead. I'd know though. I'd know you were traveling because we talked too much. You wouldn't be able to hide it.
I'd have to have pre-recorded. I'd have to have something
pre-recorded Marco Polo.
Send you.
Okay, they probably quit listening to us by now. All right, we're gonna go.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening. You're loved, and we hope that you've been inspired today. Would you like to tell them bye, ma'am?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, y'all.